Hello everybody, it is me, Briskatuzi, and today we're talking about That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, episode 20. For some reason, the half-minute mark of this episode is at 8 minutes and 52 seconds. Usually it's at 12 or 13 minutes, I had no idea what's going on, but before I talk about anything, did anybody notice that after Hakuro cut off he cut up a megalodon and they were gonna eat on the insides of the megalodon like a fish. They were gonna eat a giant shark as like a tiny like tuna fish, just cutting off its sides and then just cooking it inside that big pot that they always use, especially in the ending song. You saw them eating through pots and stuff like that. But there was a Salt Bay reference. They had a Salt Bay reference in Reincarnated as a Slime. Like, what's even going on? Like, that's like the most weirdest thing that I've seen in this anime so far. So then last week, I said that I've only read up to volume 7 or volume 8. Yeah, I've only read up to volume 8, so I said I wouldn't know what's going to happen so far, but I ended up reading ahead. There's only like 10 chapters out right now. Right now it's at chapter 53 or 54 or higher. I forgot. But I read up ahead, and I'm actually pretty excited about the stuff that's going to happen. There is like a lot of stuff that they skipped or that they might show towards the ending of the season, like towards episode 24 or 23. If they do show it, or maybe they just said that it happened, but maybe it didn't happen because they were supposed to be like a whole entire like thing where they were supposed to meet more of the Beast Kingdom and do stuff with the Beast Kingdom before all of this stuff with Shizu's students and like the one of Shizu's students that's like the leader of a whole capital. But I really liked how they finally showed like a huge like wide open area of what Rimiru's city looks like, or like town, where you saw like all the buildings and stuff like that. That was kind of cool because I was waiting for them to show that. They were supposed to show that a long time ago, but it's cool how they showed it around here. But it's kind of like weird or slash surreal that there's only 4 episodes left. Like, the series has been so amazing so far, but they show them all as spa again, and instead of Ramiro being at the male side like he was last time, because at first he was in the female side, then the male side, then he was back at the female side because he didn't like the male side. So then he was with Shion, Shuna, uh, what was it? Is it Gabiru? His sister, Gabiru's sister, and then I already forgot. I already forgot the other person, and then Milim. They were all in the spa, and to be honest, it's kind of cool that this series doesn't have mist like in other series because you literally can just see like all of their boobs. And they even showed a part where Milim just stood up while in the spa and then showed Ramiro herself. They saw Ramiro trying to shape out her body to make sure that you don't see anything that you're not supposed to. And then apparently Milim has a job in the manga. They didn't really clarify her job, but apparently her job is to check on other demon lords, which is weird because in the manga they didn't really specify what it was. And then after that, she decided to just leave. So then she left. She just like transformed and then flew away. It's weird how she can just turn off her clothes and turn on her clothes whenever she wanted to. And then after that, they showed Ramiru sleeping, and it showed him having a dream about Shizu and the kids. Oh my god, man! Like, because I went ahead and read the manga, like they might show it towards the ending of this episode because I only watched the first 8 minutes. But man, stuff with those kids, like kind of like awesome, kind of like cool moments. Same thing with in the opening song they showed a fairy, and then I saw the fairy towards the recent chapters, and that's like some pretty cool moments there. Other than that, they showed Ramiro just telling the people that he was going to go to the city to go to the city where the kids were. So then he went there with Ranga, and I'm pretty sure that in the manga they said that Soe apparently left one of his clones with Miru, because I'm pretty sure that they mentioned that earlier in episodes where he has clones. He left a clone with him. I don't know, but they didn't really mention it here, but he did, so that way he could check on them and stuff like that. And then after that, they apparently they only got to the kingdom in 3 days. They showed like they mentioned how Ramiro talked to Fuse about sending a letter of recommendation to the Shizu student that is at this city. And then there's supposed to be like a huge plot there, but they're skipping over that because they're trying to get over this stuff pretty quickly towards the end of this episode, towards the ending of this part of the ending of the series. So then he ended up getting there, and then he ended up just seeing what the big city looked like. And that was a pretty big place. It was a pretty like wide expansion place, and that's all there is for the first 8 minutes of this episode. So yeah, I guess I'll be back in a couple minutes to review the rest of this. Hey, so I haven't finished the episode yet. I've watched I watched from the minutes of 8 minutes to 14 minutes. Man, I weirded that weird. And then you saw him just parading around the city, seeing how cool it looked, seeing how advanced it is. And to be honest, that is a pretty advanced place. One thing I forgot to mention that I think I mentioned before was I can't believe that it's been 2 years that from episode 1 to episode 20, it's been 2 years that Ramiro has lived as slime. Like when I read that in the manga, I was just like, what? It's been 2 years? 7 volumes equals 2 years? Like that's a lot of time just going around of him just doing things. Like what happened on the off time? Was it like never a dull moment this whole entire time? It was just amazing things just happening all the time. So he saw him that he was very surprised by there being automatic doors, there being like glass everywhere. The city must be really rich, and especially having like basically like a 15-year-old being the leader of this village. I'm pretty sure they might mention it in a few minutes, like towards the end of the episode. But this guy Yuki Kurizaki something, he's supposed to be like he like one of his abilities is that he doesn't age, so he's gonna stay 15 for a really long time, which is that would be a really weird thing to do. You get transported to a fantasy world, but you always stay the same age, like you just can't age anymore. Other than that, he met up with the guy, and then he was waiting for him. They one thing that he messed up when Ramiro entered that union place is that the person that was supposed to like take him to Yuki's room was supposed to be like a beautiful elf lady with long hair, but in this they made like a generic like helper lady in animes, like a girl with just short hair that just dresses very finely and professionally. Like total just like they probably didn't see that chapter yet in the manga, but it would have been cool if they would have done that. Maybe it was because it was like an extra character design, so it's too much effort. Same thing how when Yuki enters the room to see Ramiro is supposed to be a slime in the manga, like he's supposed to be a slime. Freaking the director of this series, I saw like a Crunchyroll ad saying the director of Slime said that he was gonna follow the manga, like total bullshit right there. Just they're just doing their own things because they haven't caught up yet, or they haven't seen that stuff yet. So they're just doing things based on the creators' just thoughts, or maybe they're just looking through the light novel and stuff like that. But he ended up walking in, and he saw him Ramiro in his human form. But once he saw Shizu's mask, he got all you saw his face going from like happy to see like this person that Fuse mentioned to just total just just hip like mad, and then you saw them both like kick each other, and then you saw like everything in his room just crushing and just falling all over, and then then after that he said like I'm not a bad slime, and apparently that's supposed to be like a Dragon Quest reference, and then apparently he taught it to Shizu, and then Ramiro said it told Shizu it like a few when they first met, so then he ended up in the manga he laughed like Shizu did, like he did like a little giggle, but in this he's like oh I know that, which is total different, and then in the manga sort of like a two-way mirror, like this episode like them like their conversation is totally it's the same but kind of different because in this in the anime to Yuki, which is pretty funny in the manga, but seeing him just mention and seeing them just doing like this very just dramatic shots of Ramiro just talking to him and telling him about a whole bunch of anime, manga, and games, and then Ramiro's just like now I want to tell you about the prime ministers, that Yuki's just like I don't need to talk about that. So then he just told him thank you for telling him about all of it, like Yuki did, and then Ramiro's just like, huh. So then I'm at the 14-minute mark, so I'll be back in a few minutes to read the rest of this. But so far, this episode has been great, even though that I am salty that, just like Salt Bay referenced earlier, that they're skipping over things. Yeah, I'm back, and I finally finished watching the rest of this episode. One thing that I forgot to mention earlier was that they did a reference when Ramiro saw the church earlier, where there was even supposed to mention stuff later on with the church and stuff like that, where you saw that in the opening song in the beginning, where they showed like a guy with a whole bunch of other guys with like white costumes with swords. Now, I think they showed like earlier when they showed like Yuki talking to Ramiro about it, but they talked about someone named Hinata. Now, when they showed her in the manga, she looked a little bit different. She had shorter hair, but when they showed her in this series, they showed her like above like Shizu, like with longer hair and stuff like that, and then she almost looked like a character that I saw Ramiro fighting in the first opening towards the ending of the song when they shot them fighting with swords. And I thought that was a dude, but is that a girl named Hinata? It's kind of funny how they did a reference with the church, because in the latest chapter they were talking about it, especially when they met Yuki, where I think that that's probably an upcoming arc, especially when they showed stuff in the first opening. Because when I saw stuff in the first opening, I can see like lots of foreshadowing and lots of like Easter eggs and stuff like that based on me knowing stuff now. Same thing with the second opening now. But one thing that I mentioned before is that they did do the thing where Ramiro was able to like make pop out mangas out of his body and just like give Yuki a whole bunch of mangas to, and one of the mangas they showed Land of the Lustrous, like the kind of like that's a cool like thing to put there. That was kind of funny to see. And then they also showed them talk. Ramiro said that he would take on all of Shizu's regrets and stuff like that, and saying that he would like help the five children. So then Yuki gives him the job of being a teacher, of being their teacher, because apparently Shizu was a teacher that tried to teach the kids stuff like that, because she was a otherworlder that got summoned but was half dead when she got summoned. So but then she ended up getting a spirit in order to heal herself before. So then after that he went with them, and then they start talking about how the kids, because of the way that they were summoned, they're basically like Shizu, where they're like, instead of them being half dead, they were just when they got summoned, they only have 5 years to live. So they probably only got taught by Shizu for like a couple months, maybe like a year. So maybe they have 3 years left. He went in to introduce himself. Ramiro went in to introduce himself, and then he saw them, and he said, then the kid, the orange-haired kid named Kenya, I'm pretty sure, shot a fire blast at him, and that's something I remember from the manga. And then after that, Ramiro dodged it. Now, one thing that was different is that because in the manga they have more time and stuff like that, Ramiro actually wore like a scholar uniform when he went into the room, and he had his hair tied back. But in the manga, he looked a little bit stylish when he walked in as a teacher. But in this, he's just wearing his regular costume. And then he met with them. He already knew all their names, and he showed Vidora in this episode, which is something that didn't happen in the manga. Maybe it happened in the light novel or something, but it was kind of weird seeing him react to the kids, or just react inside of him, which is something that I didn't know. But I know that from the side stories, while Dora's like thoughts that are at the ending of each manga volume that you buy, is I'm wondering what his thoughts were doing this, because I don't have volume. When I was reading it online, volume 9 and volume 10, I'm assuming they didn't, or volume 9, 10, 11, they don't really have the side stories yet, because those volumes aren't out yet. But I can't wait until the next volume comes out in March, volume 9, in order for me to see what his thoughts were when Ramiro met these kids and stuff like that. But overall, that was this whole entire episode, and this episode was pretty good. The music was on point. I'm seeing a pattern where, even though that the animation and the character designs look cool, they're kind of becoming repetitive based on like facial structure and stuff like that. They don't really look varied. They look like very copy and paste ish, that I'm noticing, especially with when I see what Yuki looks like in this compared to his manga comparison looks a little bit cooler. His voice is kind of, they gave him that voice that I remember that voice actor, and I don't really like that voice actor's voice that much, unless he does different voices for different series. But that main voice that he does, I'm not really a fan of it. It's like, it's okay, but other than that, I really enjoyed this episode. It was kind of cool seeing it, even though that I know stuff that's gonna happen, stuff like that. But yeah. So if you enjoyed this review slash my thoughts and my opinions on this episode, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy this whatsoever, leave a dislike. Yeah, I'll see you in the next review. And yeah, bye.